I've got great news to report about Canadian powerlifter April Hutchinson's fight to keep female sports female. April's lawyer, Lisa Bildy of Libertas Law, tells me that work has already started to hold the Canadian Powerlifting Union to account for their unscientific anti-woman policies. The power duo of April Hutchinson and Lisa Bildy could not do any of this important work without your support, both financial and moral, at a special petition site and legal fund donation page at standwithapril.com. Thank you to everyone who has gotten involved in the fight for sports fairness. Now, for those of you who don't know, April Hutchinson is the Canadian powerlifter who was recently threatened with a 2-year ban from competition after she spoke out against a male-born competitor who is now identifying as female and is not only cleaning up in competition against women, but mocking the women that he beats online on his social media accounts. That man's name is Ann Andres. Take a listen.
We're not talking about Mackenzie Lee. She's got little T-Rex arms and she's like 400 pounds of chest muscle, apparently. I mean, standard bench in powerlifting competition for women, I literally don't understand why it's so bad. My son, he weighs 45 pounds. His max bench is like 33. I'm legit seeing some women in competition who are doing something like 50 pounds, and I just don't understand it.
So April filed a complaint with the Powerlifting Union regarding Ann's unsportsmanlike conduct online. When April's complaint went unheeded, she took to her own social media accounts to express her outrage and dismay at what was happening to women within her own sport. You see, women were having their opportunities snatched away from them by a competitor that had undergone testosterone puberty, and then those women had that same cheater, my words, not April's, mock them for their biology, for being smaller and less strong than the male of the species. Now, when Ann filed a complaint against April for showing the world what Ann was doing to women, April was the one that got in trouble, banned from competition, denied the ability to compete in the sport she loves and the very sport that helped her through some of her darkest days. But it wasn't enough to take April's sport away from her. These people have tried to disappear her completely. April was featured in an exhibit at the London, Ontario Museum about her inspirational journey from addiction to elite Canadian powerlifting athlete. But busybody activists came to make sure that April's message of hope and perseverance for women was erased for the crime of wrongthink. But April's a fighter. She wasn't about to give up the fight to save not just her sport, but all women's sports. April hired a lawyer, Lisa Bildy from Libertas Law, to sue the Canadian Powerlifting Union. We at Rebel News asked you to donate to offset April's legal fees at standwithapril.com, and you did. And I'm pleased to tell you your help is already making such a big difference. Today, I can tell you that the first steps to hold this powerlifting union to account have already taken place. I heard from April's lawyer this morning. Lisa Bildy informs me that late Tuesday night, she received word from the independent third party handling April's suspension appeal. The third party confirmed to Lisa that April has passed the first hurdle of showing sufficient grounds for her appeal, and her case will now move forward to the next stage. That next stage involves giving the respondent and the powerlifting union an opportunity to file a response within the next 10 business days. So, things are moving very fast. Things are already happening. April's story and the public outrage it garnered already forced the head of the Canadian Powerlifting Union to resign. And let's hope the resignations don't just stop at one. Everybody responsible for this must be held to account. But the battle, it's really just beginning. Lisa Bildy is one of the best in the business, and she's who you want on your side when you're fighting for fair treatment and civil liberties. We saw that in her work during the pandemic lockdowns. To give April and Lisa the tools and the moral support they need, go to standwithapril.com, sign that petition, make a donation to help April as she fights for free speech, fair treatment, and to keep female sports female. For Rebel News, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. to sign our petition calling on the Canadian Powerlifting Union to reinstate April Hutchinson and to make a donation to offset her legal costs as she sues the union for banning her from competing for 2 years because she spoke out against a man competing as a woman in her sport. Go to standwithapril.com.